Oh, friends, how are you all doing today? Today is such a wonderful day. It's Thursday. The week is basically almost done. The month is almost done. Can't believe it's already the 18th in August. Wow, time surely fly fast. Especially for us who have gotten a little older, a little up in years. Seems like this time just goes quicker and quicker each year that turns around. Today, friends, I want to talk to you about the 6 marks of a godly man. I know many of you in the YouTube universe, or many of you who are familiar with the Manosphere on YouTube, many of you who know guys like Kevin Samuels, guys like Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews, Abba and Preach, all these different creators within the YouTube universe. They speak on, or some of them touch on, like a high value man. Not necessarily, not all of them, but especially guys like Kevin Samuels, right? And Kevin Samuels, his thing is not something that he created. Is something that he learned about, and he was basically bringing that back to the mainstream. That there's a certain list of steps to what a high value man, or what we consider a high value man. And I'm not going to go into high value men today. But what I want to talk about, which I don't really hear much people broadcast or portray, or really talk about, is the marks of a godly man. So these are not the full list. These are a few things that I kind of noticed. These are a few things that I myself I'm trying to live by and trying to build, right? And these are, as I said, the 6 marks of a godly man. So the first one that I have is a godly man is purpose driven, right? So what happened is, many of times, as a Christian, when you're in church, or probably not even as a Christian only, but your family's always asking you what you want to do with your life. Are you going to be a doctor? Are you going to be a lawyer? Are you going to do what your dad did? Are you going to do what your mom did? It's just like there's so much pressure, right? And so a godly man is a man of purpose, and a man that is purpose driven. The purpose that he has don't necessarily have to be a doctor, to be a lawyer, or what have you, right? But the key thing to remember is the purpose of any godly man is to follow after God, and is to walk in God's will. So if God has placed the skills in you already to be a doctor, or the desire in you to be a doctor or to be a lawyer, you are following in what God has created you to do and to be, and that is your purpose. But as a Christian, our purpose is to let God's light shine in the world. So if you become a doctor, you're going to use biblical principles to guide you to be the best doctor you can. So that's mean not lying to your client, and to have faith, and even if you have the chance to pray with your patients as well, but it's to let God's light shine through you in the profession, or in the career, or whatever that you choose. There's a guy that I used to watch. I think it's Immortal Minds. Is his podcast. I'll put the correct name at the bottom. And one of the things that he said is like, men are gods, right? And I mentioned this in a video before, and he was breaking down the word God, right? Say men should be generators, operators, and I think he used destroyer. But I changed the D, and I put developers. So part of our purpose is to generate, to operate, and to develop, right? Whether you're developing a career or a curriculum that can help motivate people in order to push forward or to grow, whether it's to, let's say you work for a power plant and you're generating in that, or operating devices in that, that is what men are. We're supposed to be purpose driven, right? The next thing that I have is, and these next two I will have to go into further detail on another episode, but A godly man, he follows the path of the Ephesians 5 man. So those of you who are familiar in the King James Bible, I mean, you can use any Bible. I'm familiar with the King James. I prefer that book or that version. But if you were to read Ephesians 5, like there's certain precepts and there's certain guidelines that are written in that a godly man, those are the things that a godly man follows. So Ephesians, if you want to know, is in the New Testament. And if you find Ephesians, you should just read through Ephesians 5, and then you could write down some of the principles and the precepts in that, and then try to acquire those lifestyle. So as I said before, these are steps that I myself I'm trying to perfect within myself in order to be the godly man that I can be, or to be a good man. The third one, and this I say I have to go into more details with this, is they follow the counsel of Proverbs 31. So Proverbs is in the Old Testament, and Proverbs 31 talks about the Proverbs 31 woman, but the book was written basically a mother instructing her son and giving her son wisdom in, basically how to pick like a good woman. But as men, reading the book of Proverbs itself has a lot of wisdom that is beneficial to our growth and our use in society. So I would suggest, yes, read Proverbs 31, but reading also the book of Proverbs as well. Godly man is confident, right? So when I look at the word confidence, or being confident, I always used to think that means you are not really boastful, or not that you know everything. Because with confidence, in order to build confidence, you have to have experience, right? Experience build confidence. But sometimes you can be confident in not knowing. For you to say very assertively, like, I do not know how to do that. Can you teach me? Right? To have that confidence into asking what you need when you need it, right? And not to be so proud or so boastful that you don't know something, and you act like and then what does that do? You miss out on that. So even if there's something that you are ignorant in, there's nothing wrong with you being confident in your ignorance. I don't know if that makes sense. I hope it does. If I don't know something, I'll say, I don't know, can you teach me? And have that boldness and confidence in that. The next one is, I have two, and it's intelligence, right? And intuitiveness, right? Or to be intuitive and to have intelligence, right? And the thing is, those have to be built, right? In order to be intuitive, you have to go through experiences, right? You have to see things, you have to start things, see them through. If they've passed, if they've failed, you learn from it, and then you mark that in your mind in order to take that to the next level, in order to make steps forward. And then intelligence, that's something that we have to build every day, and that intelligence is built through experience as well, but not necessarily our experiences. Reading books, asking questions, that's just how we build our intellect or our intelligence. And then assertive. These are just a few, just 6, right? Assertive, right? Many of us, we hear the saying, good guys finish last, right? And I start looking back at why good guys finish last. And a lot of good guys finish last is because most good guys want to please people, which there's nothing wrong with pleasing people. But the thing is, we have to set a parameter on which we allow people to play in, right? And when they reach a certain point, that's when our assertiveness comes in and say, no. A lot of good guys, we don't say no because we want to please people, so we're always giving yes. But we have to get to a certain level as men where we are assertive, and our no means no and our yes means yes. It is so funny because I see a lot of people who are not non-believers or not Christians. They use biblical principles in their daily lives, and those biblical principles allow them to gain success. And a lot of us who are believers or Christians, we do not practice these biblical wisdom. And so we lack success because we don't practice it. So the thing is, within the Bible, there are principles that, if followed, will bring us success in our life, our finance, right? And also in our spiritual life. But the thing is, it has to be acted on, right? The Bible tells us not to just be hearers of God's word, but doers as well. So guys, this is all I have for you today. Those are six marks of a godly man. I want to go into further, I want to add more to it, but let us strive to be godly people or godly men, especially if you're walking, if you're children of faith. So I hope you guys have a good day. I hope you can take something from this video. And yes, I say a godly man, but the thing is, these principles, whether you're a believer or not, are still good principles that you can follow to improve yourself, to become a better man, in order to be good to yourself, your family, and your community. So be careful of what you use to capture your mind, and you all have a wonderful rest of your day. All right, guys. Be safe. Until next time, this is Captivated Mind. I like to say, peace out.